That's it. Thank you. Thank you for joining us this morning. We are here to sign Senate Bill 2939, Senate Draft 2, relating to energy. This bill requires on or before January 1st, 2020, that the Public Utilities Commission to establish performance incentives and penalty mechanisms that directly tie electric utility revenues to the utility's achievement on performance metrics. It exempts member-owned cooperative electric utilities from this requirement. I am pleased to be here this morning to sign this measure because it is clearly consistent with our administration's strategy on sustainability, climate change, and renewable energy deployment. This measure will ensure that the next performance-based rate making, or PBR, model will be timely developed by the Hawaii Public Utilities Commission using its discretion after appropriate input by stakeholders and utility experts and rate-making experts. As the energy industry continues to evolve, the regulatory process needs to evolve as well, including better alignment with regulated utility interests and the state's interest and state goals. Significant progress is being made toward realizing our goal of 100% renewable energy by 2045. And let me assure you that there are other states who are chasing us in our efforts to transform our energy economy. To achieve the renewable portfolio standards, we've asked the electric utilities to make significant investments in their grids to ensure the utilities and the independent power producers have adequate access to capital at reasonable rates. The Hawaii Public Utilities Commission will need to develop PBR models that ensures the financial health of the electric utilities and power producers. In a report issued just last week called Transcending Oil, Hawaii's Path to a Clean Energy Economy, new data shows that the faster we move away from our oil dependence, the more money we save and the more jobs we create. Clean, renewable energy creates high-paying jobs that can't be exported to the mainland, and transcending oil helps keep our keiki here in Hawaii doing jobs and finding meaningful careers that we can all be proud of. I would like to note that last week the Public Utilities Commission here in Hawaii opened a docket to examine incentive mechanisms that encourage exemplary utility performance, as well as PBR elements that may, over time, result in changes to the regulation. In implementing PBR, the Hawaii PUC will need to balance a range of potentially conflicting priorities in an evolving environment, including customer choice and bill impact, Hawaii policies requiring rapid deployment of renewable energy, reliability and resilience of our energy systems, and the financial stability of the utilities. Performance incentives are complex and have been the subject of several proceedings before the PUC already, and other PBR efforts, such as the Reforming the Energy Vision process in New York, are ongoing. But as we know here in the islands, Hawaii's unique characteristics, such as our geographic isolation and the independent grids in each county, Hawaii will need a very specific Hawaii solution. Hawaii is operating ahead of the curve and will need to develop a PBR model without the benefit of looking to another state in the union, with the kind of renewable energy penetration that Hawaii boasts. Thus, any changes in the regulatory rate making needs to be undertaken with adequate care and design so that performance incentives do not result in unintended consequences, such as making energy bills less affordable for Hawaii's hardworking residents and businesses. There is no single formula or model that will work. Instead, there will need to be constant work of adjusting existing policies and practices to meet new circumstances and to take advantage of new information and new technology. Collaboration and stakeholder input will be essential in designing a well-balanced and comprehensive PBR model. And I would like to, before I sign the measure, invite legislators who are actively involved with this effort to say a few words. First, starting with Stanley Chang on behalf of the Senate as the sponsor of the measure.
Well, first, let me thank Governor Ige for signing this measure. I also wanted to thank our colleagues in the legislature, Representative Chris Lee, who has fought for many years on this topic, and of course Senator Inoue, who very forcefully moved this bill through the Senate. I also wanted to acknowledge some of the folks who have been working with me on this issue for many years now, including Robert Harris. I see Isaac Moriwaka here. I don't see John Yoshimura here, but they've all been working very hard, among many others in this room. This bill is a revolutionary bill. Frankly, it's a moonshot bill. As Governor Ige mentioned, no other state has done what we're doing today, much less through action of the state legislature. For the first time in the United States, our electric utility is not going to be charging rates either based on what the market can bear or based on what they can build, but on a laundry list of factors that I will read now. Affordability, reliability, customer satisfaction, public access to data, renewable energy, and timely execution of business processes. This is amazing. I wish every industry could charge rates based only on
This is an important bill and an important issue. And I think with the governor's leadership, with our collective progress toward renewable energy, we've clearly made strides that nobody thought possible here in Hawaii. And that acceleration away from fossil fuels and toward cheaper renewables clearly has already saved over $250 million for local consumers and avoided fossil fuel costs, and continues to decrease the cost of power over time the quicker we get away from our reliance on imported oil. But one of the things that we have been working on this entire time, and I think as our colleagues have mentioned, this is not out of nowhere. There's been a collective effort amongst all stakeholders, amongst government agencies, amongst members of the public and our consumer savings. And what this bill really sets forward is the path to implement those actions necessary so that customers realize those savings over the long term, that we achieve our renewable energy goals, and do so in the best interest of all stakeholders, including our utility, which is also a big winner out of this bill. Because ultimately, the utility has a future with a sustainable business model, which is going to be able to handle the kinds of disruption that we know are coming in our energy sector. This is a win-win for everyone.
There's a safe, reliable, and resilient electric grid for all of our residents. And I wish Dean was here to hear me say this, but it's for all of our residents, from our rural agricultural communities in Kona, Hilo, to our most densely populated urban areas such as Makiki, Makali, Mo'olu,